NTA, Nigerian Television Authority. For more information and news updates, visit our website at www.nta.ng, or you can follow us on Twitter at NTA News Now, or you can like us on Facebook at NTA Network News. Stay connected on our YouTube channel at www.youtube.com/NTA News Online. Live stream at www.nta.ng/live. NTA News Channel.
NTA International. President on a visit to the U.S. restates resolve to continue with privatization of critical sectors of Nigeria's economy. Economic Community of West African States to develop database to address illegal and unregulated fishing on African waters. Former Senate President cautions Nigerians against reducing critical national matters to politics. Hello there, so good to have you join us on NTA International News. At this time, I am Oku Ekbayan. President Muhammadu Buhari has restated his administration's resolve to continue with the privatization program in telecommunications, energy, gas, solid minerals, aviation, and critical sectors of the economy. Therefore invited the American business community to take advantage of the liberal trade and investment climate to do profitable businesses in Nigeria. The presentation at a special fair organized by the U.S. Chambers of Commerce and Corporate Council, as well as part of his working visit to Washington, D.C. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has a report.
The special dinner was attended by top executives of leading United States companies and captains of industry from Nigeria underscores the growing partnership between Nigeria and the United States.
Today, there is no question that American companies have turned their attention to the continent. The country is more important strategically and economically than Nigeria. The time for Nigeria is now. The goal that we have is to build on your vision, Mr. President, of increasing prosperity and peace throughout the African continent.
For President Buhari, Nigeria, as the most populous nation and largest market in Africa, with vast human and natural resources as well as skilled manpower, remains a destination of choice for investors in the continent.
Discerning investors know from experience that the Nigerian market offers better returns on investment than any other in Africa. I will work assiduously to welcome new investors to our country. Let me repeat, Nigeria will partner with genuine investors who are willing to join us to achieve our economic objectives and at the same time keep handsome returns for their investment.
He said necessary measures are already being taken to reduce waste with focus on prudence, accountability, good governance, respect for the rule of law, and strict compliance with contractual agreements to enable the private sector assume an increasing role as the engine of growth.
Generating employment was one of my key campaign promises. I will do my best to keep this promise. There is more to Nigeria than oil. This is why I will continue to stress the need for increased United States investment in our non-oil sectors. In this respect, the present administration will be attentive to the needs of the business community and pursue policies that will strengthen the sector that will drive the growth.
He said decisive steps have already been taken towards addressing the challenges of power and security as bottlenecks to economic growth. Participants at the interactive forum were unanimous that President Buhari has brought a new vista of hope on the future of Nigeria.
President Buhari sent a signal of integrity, his vision for Nigeria's growth. I think we are looking forward to several good years of U.S.-Nigerian cooperation.
I think the most important thing is that the U.S. and the people of America are friends of the Nigerian government and the people of Nigeria. And once you have that kind of friendship and understanding and open dialogue, then you can do a lot of things together.
It is a sign that they believe in his ability to deliver on what he has promised, which is moving Nigeria forward.
It's a new phase of relationship, and then also it shows how much confidence they have in our president, because he's a man of integrity, and it's somebody who's coming up with change and new approach to governance.
Already, the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and Corporate Council on Africa has invited President Buhari to give a keynote address at the opening session of the 10th Biennial U.S.-Africa Business Summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia in November this year. From Washington, D.C., Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Back in Nigeria, U.S. Vice President Joe Biden has hosted President Muhammadu Buhari to a breakfast meeting where they compared notes on the war on terror. A statement from presidential spokesman Femi Adesina says that during the meeting which held at the Naval Observatory, official residence of the American Vice President Joe Biden shared with his guest what the U.S. had learned from the terror war, counseling that victory cannot come from military option alone. The U.S. Vice President said the military option must be combined with strong socio-economic support programs, promising that the U.S. would work with Nigeria in that direction. Responding, President Buhari thanked the U.S. for standing by Nigeria in the run-up to the general elections earlier this year. On oil theft, the Nigerian president estimated losses at between $10 and $20 billion, stressing that such income could have made impact on various sectors like education and healthcare, among others. Meanwhile, the visit of President Muhammadu Buhari to the United States continues to generate debate and discussions among Nigerians across sectors of the nation's economy. Good Morning Nigeria on NTA examines the impact of the visit on the nation's economy. Joy Uzo reports.
Guests on the program looked at the likely benefits of the visits to Nigeria. These were in the areas of security, economic collaboration, and the recovery of looted funds by past government officials.
The fact that America is willing at this time to support us with a clear agenda to ensure that at least peace and stability returns to this country for the purpose of development clearly shows that all of us in this country have a role to play. What we should be getting is a complete holistic package on security, not just the issue of training, equipping the armed forces, and then training them in the area of operation and maintenance of this equipment. But that will greatly assist us. Nigerians should be involved, Nigerians should be carried along, and people are talking about institutional means of development, that is strengthening institutions. Obama said it
On the narrative for economic emancipation, the guests were particular that President Buhari and his team should front areas where Nigeria has comparative advantage and strike bilateral cooperation in this direction.
Nigeria is very strategic in that when America comes here, he's going to come like he went to South Korea. He's going to come like he went to South Korea. That's what we want. And Nigerians are very intelligent. I told you, that's the greatest country in the world that has the largest number of entrepreneurship.
Presidential media advisor Femi Adesina gave an update via Skype on President Buhari's activities in the U.S. and when ministers will be appointed.
Well, there was an op-ed in the Washington Post published yesterday to coincide with the visit of the President to President Obama. And there's a paragraph in it that talks about US constituting a cabinet sometime about September. But one thing we assure of is that yes, the president is going to constitute a cabinet because it is constitutional to do so. Not only does the constitution require that the cabinet be composed, it also stipulates that there must be a minister per state. So, with that, I'm sure we can rest assured that yes, the cabinet will come and it will come around that time as indicated by the president.
President Buhari is expected back in the country on Thursday in Abuja. Joy Uzo, NTA News.
Some participants of the Senior Executive Course 37 of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies in Jos, Plateau State, are currently in Cairo on a study tour. Within the annual report of the team is understanding the mission of the educational system in Egypt.
Egypt has the largest overall educational system in the Middle East and North Africa, which has been growing rapidly since the early 1990s. In recent years, the government has accorded even greater priority in improving the educational system. Recently, with the help of World Bank and other multilateral organizations, the country aims to increase access in early childhood care and education. These are some of the educational aspects participants of the Senior Executive Course 37 at the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies School are going to spend days understudying in Egypt. While welcoming the participants, Nigeria's ambassador to Egypt, Senator Ganaguba, assured them that contrary to exaggerated impression created in the media, Egypt is safe for tourism and studies. He advised them to explore the rich historical civilization of the country in the course of their study tour. Participants are expected to come up with practical suggestions on policy implementation in the educational sector for Nigeria. From Cairo, Egypt, Wazim Zayan, NTA News.
From Egypt back to Abuja, the Economic Community of West African States ECOWAS is to develop an information database to assist in addressing the challenge of increasing illegal and unregulated fishing activities on African waters. The representatives of the 14 member countries are meeting in Abuja to brainstorm on how to address the challenge. Musa Babaliu has the details.
Fish is one of the most valuable food commodity traded internationally with an export value of over $70 billion. For many African countries, the fisheries sector represents a major source of foreign exchange revenue through trade with other developed countries under official license agreements. The fish exports, apart from boosting income, also provides employment opportunities for local people in coastal and inland regions. In recent time, however, the West African seas are being devastated by illegal, unreported and overfishing, while the local fishing declines. There are a lot of activities ongoing within the coastal waters of West Africa which are not very easy to monitor and regulate. It is based on this that the ECOWAS Coastal and Marine Resources Management Project was formed to assist with information and monitoring of fish trafficking vessels, focus of weather, and address illegal and unregulated activities on the sea. With the help of continental and national partners, the Center is working to develop new services that can provide relevant information to stakeholders to curtail pirate fishing in West Africa. Nigeria, with a deficit of over 700,000 metric tons of fish per annum, is to benefit more from the regional efforts. ECOWAS is helping us, first of all, to use Earth observation data to be able to monitor our waters, the marine waters, and to provide security of the fishing vessels and the operators, and also protection of the environment in the coastal waters of Nigeria and all over West Africa. The ECOWAS Marine Summer is being implemented by the Economic Community of West Africa Coastal Marine Resource Management Center located in Ghana. Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And now to the National Assembly, where the former President of the Senate, Senator David Mark, has cautioned Nigerians against reducing critical national matters to politics. Reacting to claims in some quarters that the National Assembly budget and salaries are shrouded in secrecy, Senator Mark denied any such thing in the affairs of Nigeria's National Assembly. In a statement by his media assistant, Paul Mume, the former Senate President described such allegations as born out of mischief. He maintained that the National Assembly under his leadership was bold, courageous, steadfast and truly patriotic, which stood on the side of the people in the interest of Nigeria. Senator Mark recalled how in 2008, National Assembly was the first arm of government to return the sum of 7 billion naira unspent fund to the National Treasury. He stressed that the budget of the National Assembly is always open for people to access and that the members of the National Assembly do not fix their salaries. Former Chief Security Officer to former President Goodluck Jonathan, Gordon Obuah, says contrary to media reports that he is dead, he is alive and healthy. Joseph Orok reports that the former Chief Security Officer said this after completing his assignment. His office demanded that he give account of his stewardship.
I want to use this medium to tell Nigerians, members of my family, and all concerned citizens that I'm healthy. I'm a staff of the Department of State Services, and having completed my tour of duty as Chief Security Officer to the President, the last President, the service says that I should give account of my tenure.
Obuah spoke at the DSS headquarters, Abuja, where he is currently being integrated. This is the news of NTA International, reaching you live from Nigeria's capital. A recap of the top stories. President Buhari, currently on a visit to the US, has restated the resolve of the administration to continue with the privatization program of critical sectors of the Nigerian economy and invited the American business community to take advantage of the liberal climate in Nigeria. We also heard from representatives of the 14 members of the ECOWAS are brainstorming in Abuja to address the challenge of increasing illegal and unregulated fishing activities on African waters. Coming up on the break, Federal Capital Territory Administration takes steps to stem the menace of street trading and begging to check insecurity. NNPC reads Riot Act to petroleum marketers for divestment products. Stay tuned for details of these and more shortly. NTA International. This is where the news begins. Every breakthrough and development on the continent.
NTA International News. State-House Correspondent Hamza in-depth news and professionals on all sides of the story. Experts say the issue of security and matter
every day on NTA International. Take you inside Africa, half the world.
And more news now on NTA International. Work resumes nationwide after the Eid they are refreshed to face the challenges at their duty posts. Timothy Yusuf reports from the in Abuja.
Just as the youth flight within Abuja was described, civil servants like Mana are resuming their duty posts, although not appreciable at the time of this report. Some of them that the situation may be better to be gradual On the whole, the period of the break, according to the rewarding us to continue from where they stopped.
And work, extremely about you understand. See the work starts today, see us coming. The work starts. The work now we are moving so far. The work is supposed to be done. Just breaking the resting days now. We are going to add it up with the very one that we are.
2 days rest. Revived to face the challenges of our head. For retired Corporal James Ogbole, the holiday period by the nature of his job.
So that is our duty. Go venture, whether on public holiday or X-Mass or Salah, we must come to a duty.
While at wants to commence, taxi driver said that the period is for its usual activities.
You can see the place is still not as much as it was supposed to be. The later of what will take place.
In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Meanwhile, there is renewed the authorities of the Federal Capital Territory to stem the menace of beggars and street traders in the nation's capital. NTA International reports that this is part of the steps to check insecurity in the Federal Capital Territory.
Various points of the city center, hawkers and field beggars were seen, and the NTA News find out from the Commissioner of Police, Wilson Inalibu, who is the leader of the FCT Task Force on Security, what the task force is doing concerning the persistent situation.
Within the next few days, we are not going to difference a lot of them on the city.
We also spoke to the Director AET, Baba Shehulian, on what the board is doing concerning.
We have been removing all the street beggars. And once new beggars, now other such beggars to Social Development Secretariat. It's the responsibility of Social Development Secretariat to rehabilitate those beggars.
City residents, on the other hand, spoke still of the presence of beggars and hawkers in the city center and their security caution in times like this.
It's as if Abuja have turned into a city that we don't obey law. One just need to be alert and be mindful of wherever we are going. On our own, have to keep our eyes open and be mindful of events happening around us.
The police say security is everybody's business and that residents should report suspicious character or suspicious movement to the police. In Abuja, NTA International.
In a bid to sanitize the fuel distribution and supply system and eliminate the queues at the filling stations in some cities in Nigeria, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) has warned that henceforth any oil found to be involved in product diversion will have its bulk purchase agreement with its midstream subsidiary, the Pipeline and Products Marketing Company (PPMC). Group General Manager, Public Affairs Division, Ohi Alegbe, says the warning was issued in the face of persistent tightness of supply being experienced in the country, despite huge load-outs from the PPMC depots by major and independent marketers, a situation that has been traced to diversion. Meanwhile, PPMC has revoked the lifting license bulk purchase agreement of 3 independent marketers for engaging in product diversion and sundry infractions. The affected marketers are Funo Alpha, Organizer Well, West African, and Rich Oil. The sanction is with immediate effect. It warns marketers to desist from product diversion, hoarding, and any other form of bad practices. Not hesitate to wield the big stick against any marketer found wanting. That it is closely monitoring the market and that the withdrawal of lifting licenses of erring marketers is an exercise. Now to look at business, analysts anticipate further drop in crude oil prices. Iran restores oil production. Greece clears IMF overdue debt repayment arrears. Now remain under pressure as monetary policy commits and peace needs SSS. Details with Ide Ahu.
Reports say currency analysts expect the naira to remain under pressure at the parallel market this week, even as the Monetary Policy Committee (MPC) of the Central Bank of Nigeria meets on Thursday and Friday to make key decisions on the economy. The MPC will review developments in the global and domestic economic environment since its last meeting held on May 18th and 19th, 2015. The meeting is coming against the backdrop of insistent pressure on the naira-dollar exchange rate, crippling inflation, and slowing gross domestic product growth rate. The naira traded for 241.5 per dollar last Thursday, up from 235 the previous week. International Energy Agency says Iran could restore oil production halted by sanctions faster than anyone anticipates if the history of previous shutdown is any guide. The consensus among analysts and traders is that Iran needs at least a year after sanctions are lifted to raise output to the level prevailing before the restrictions were imposed in 2012. However, anticipated fast recovery could result in further drop in crude oil prices in the international market due to increase in supply. The International Monetary Fund has confirmed that Greece has paid overdue debt repayments of €2.05 billion and is no longer in arrears. The repayments and another for €4.25 billion to the European Central Bank due on Monday came after the European Union made Greece a short-term loan of €7 billion. Greece missed one repayment to IMF in June and another earlier this month. Ide Agu, NTA News.
Sports now, football fans urge Dream Team 6 to go all out in Congo to secure victory in second leg CAF Under-23 as the Nigerian Basketball Federation unveils the new Tigers coach. Ayodeji Makinde has details on Sports Update.
The national under-16 basketball team, Junior B Tigers, were on Tuesday in Abuja received by the National Sports Commission following their qualification for the 2016 World Youth Basketball Championship. The team of 9 players were finalists at the just concluded under-16 Afro-Basket Championship in Madagascar, where they lost to Mali by 46 to 57 points. NSC Director General Al-Hassan Yakub says the team will be drafted for campaign in September ahead of the World Youth Championship. In a limited development, newly appointed head coach for the merged national team, D Tigers, William Voigt, was Tuesday unveiled in Abuja by the Nigerian Basketball Federation. The American and his technical crew are confident that the players in camp are capable of taking the country's basketball to the next level, as Nigeria bids to win a maiden Afro-Basket Championship.
Time now for a check on what West's weather will look like for Nigerian world cities.